Now moving on, the World Series. Can we call it the finals? I guess we have to. The World Series finals will be this weekend in Austria, even though there was no World Series series this year. And it will be the first PDC event to go forward with a crowd since the pause in March. What is the big draw to you to tune in this weekend to the action?
Well, we spoke a little bit about what's coming up over the next 4 or 5 weeks from the PDC last week, and I personally picked this event as the one that I was most looking forward to. And one of the big things was because we're going to see that crowd there, and it is going to be the first televised event with the crowd. And spoke last week, and I know a lot of people didn't agree with me. They preferred to go with the autumn series when you've got all the tour card holders, well, pretty much all the tour card holders playing, and you get to see a lot more games during the 5 days compared to this one. But for me, and I said it last week, that the crowd is a big part of the darts. It's part of that spectacle, whether it's being in the crowd yourself or watching it from TV. A lot of it, what draws you in is that atmosphere that we have, and we don't quite know what it's going to be like this weekend. We do know that it's a limited crowd. I did have an email from PDC Europe. I think it might come to me this today, actually, when we're recording on this Wednesday, and it was in German, so I didn't quite understand it. But I did see the figure 1,500 in there, so I'm not quite sure whether that's the limit on people that they can have in the venue this weekend. But whether it's 1,500, whether it's more, whether it's less, we're going to get that more authentic atmosphere, the real atmosphere, if you like. And for me, that is why I'm looking forward to this event. And I suppose we've got to talk about the players and the draw. It's thrown up some really tasty ties, some great first round games, and some possible really exciting second round games. And you've got to look right at the top of that draw. Glenn Durant against Dimitri Vanderberg, repeat of that World Match Play semi-final from a couple of months ago. And the winner of that game plays Michael van Gerwen. And you think these first couple of rounds, a race to 6 legs, very short race in terms of TV darts. They're going to be some exciting games. Krzysztof Ratajski against Mensur Suljovic. I know a few people I've seen on Twitter saying that this is kind of like Krzysztof Ratajski. He's took up the baton, if you like, for players from that sort of neck of the woods around Europe from Mensur, what he was able to achieve the last couple of years. So that'll be an interesting game. Some other good ones in there. I think Ian White, Damon Heta will be a good one. Cody Harris, Dave Chisnall, and Vincent van der Voort, Joe Cullen. And then you look forward to what the potential second round games could be, and then going forward to that final day. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. And I've got to say as well, you can hear from Chris Mason in a little bit as well, but we didn't touch on it in our interview. But he did say when we were talking off air that I know ITV's coverage here in the UK, that's starting during the session. So I think they're going to miss the first couple of games on the Friday and the Saturday, I believe. I'm not quite sure about the Sunday because they're showing the Tour de France highlights. But I believe Chris was saying that all the games that they miss on the live broadcast, they're going to show them at the end of the session in full replay. So that's good news as well. You're not going to miss a game.
Yes, that is good news. Obviously, we'd rather be able to watch it live. I think I'll be able to because I can watch everything on the PDC website since I'm not in the UK or the Netherlands where they block the TV events. So it doesn't affect me, or hopefully it doesn't affect me, but it's good that other people get to watch it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some, as you mentioned, some fantastic first round ties. And with the short format, that makes those second round ties really up for grabs. And maybe that potential Michael van Gerwen and Glenn Durant match, if Durant gets past Dimitri in the first round, has lost a little bit of luster in one way because Michael van Gerwen was able to finally get a win over Glenn Durant this past week in the Autumn Series. But he's still way behind in the all-time series. And for Glenn Durant, he's going to want to show who of the 3-time world champs is the man to beat. He wants to get that mantle back by beating the world number one, assuming he heads past Dimitri Vanderberg. Dimitri Vanderberg wants to obviously prove that his win in the World Match Play was no fluke. Whoever gets through that top little part of the draw, meet the world number one, will make up for a fantastic second round match. But I'll focus on a couple other matches. One that you mentioned, one that you didn't, and they involved the only 2 non-tour card holders in the field. One, you mentioned Cody Harris going against Dave Chisnall. Cody Harris, one of the best players who's never been able to win a tour card. He's come close a couple of times, but he is a very good talent. And once he finally gets that breakthrough in Q School or on the Challenge Tour to win a tour card, I think he'll hold his own, and I think he'll be a very steady professional. It just hasn't happened for him yet. Kind of like it didn't happen for Krzysztof Ratajski in Q School. And once he got that opportunity on the Pro Tour, he piled on and is now in the top 16 in the world. I don't know if Cody Harris is top 16 good, but he is definitely at the very least tour card good. And has a winnable match against Dave Chisnall. And then obviously the other non-tour card holder, Fallon Sharik. We've talked a lot about her. Everyone, even people outside of darts, has talked a lot about her. And she has, in the limited time we've seen her in the PDC, has shown that she belongs. Even though she didn't perform at her best at Q School, she did on TV, winning 2 matches at the World Championship, pushing Chris Dobie in the match she lost, and drawing against the person who ended up topping the Premier League, Glenn Durant. This will be the first time we get to see her in about 7 months, but she's playing a very good player in the Canadian Jeff Smith. I'm looking forward to that match. I'm looking forward to Cody Harris's match because those two players we haven't got to see in a long time, and it'll be interesting to see if they're as good as they've shown in the past.